What's going on, everybody? This will be a combination of a garden update and a harvest video, because as you can see, one crop is in need of a harvest, but a lot of things have changed over the last, I would say, 14 days. And of course I got some summer plants in some of my containers, so let me show you what's been going on. To start off, my potatoes have actually done quite well. They have bloomed, and some of the blooms have actually fallen off. I apologize if I didn't share the video for it, but there is a bloom left that's about to fall off. The beets that was in the potato tub or potato container, they pretty much died off, and so far I have not seen any potatoes peeking out of the soil. I don't know if there's any potatoes in the soil, but I would say sometime in June I'll pretty much find out when I harvest. So you'll pretty much know if I have potatoes in this container as much as I do. So I'm glad to have a potato crop. Hopefully a successful one. The beets are actually doing really good right now. And we got a couple of beets that's peeking out of the soil. This is one of them. I don't know if you can see it. I know I can see it. And the other one, which is buried inside here. I haven't really checked the rest of the crop to see if there's any more beets in there. It's actually peeking out of the soil, but I'm pretty sure there's some beets coming in, and hopefully I'll be able to harvest a successful crop out of them. When I checked them, I looked at most of the beets that was pretty much crowded, and I should have thinned them out. So I'm pretty sure some of the crops that I have in here won't have any beets under them. Just a whole lot of leaves. So I might not get such a big crop out of them, but I will actually get something out of the beets. So I'm actually glad they actually did something this year. And hopefully I actually have a pretty good crop to pickle the beets. So everything's looking pretty good with the beets. The carrots have actually done very good. So good, in fact, that part of the root is starting to peek up out of the soil on some of them. So I might actually have a very good harvest for the carrots. I probably might harvest these carrots, probably the same time I harvest the beets. But I didn't think the carrots would do anything this year because this was so cold in the beginning. I'm actually pretty happy that they actually are turning out the way they're turning out. So hopefully I'll actually show you a bountiful harvest of the carrots when the time comes. Went to the big box store and ended up getting 2 tomato plants. This is one of them. The other one is already planted, but it still needs more work when it comes to bracing. When I went to the big box store to get these tomato plants, I was looking for a determinate variety, but they all were indeterminate varieties, which is not that good for containers. So luckily, the store had only 2 determinate variety tomato plants left, and I ended up buying them. So the variety I got for the 2 tomato plants I ended up buying is called Bush Goliath, and both of them actually have blooms on them already. So pretty much I would say either sometime this month or sometime next month we'll start seeing some tomatoes come on the vine, and I will be happy to show you. Also, want to try getting a stronger stake to stake up these tomato plants so they won't fall and snap the pieces on me in years prior. The kale has actually gotten quite large over the last 14 days. So large, in fact, that I need to go ahead and harvest them for Mother's Day. Got some family coming over, and they saw my kale, and of course they would love to have a little bit of the kale that I grown in these containers. Also, the carrots and turnip in this container is actually doing pretty good, even though the turnip has been pretty much ravaged by the worms. The carrots, even though they don't have enough sunshine, seem to be pretty much unaffected. But everything with the kale has been going good, even though it has been, I would say, eaten up by some of the worms that I was able to encounter. But I'm going to actually get to this kale before the worms do, because I actually did see those cabbage moths flying over them the other day. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and start harvesting the kale. A lot of kale. A lot of large kale. Large leaf kale, actually. I want to see if there's any worms up here. I don't see any so far, but you do see some of the damages that the worms did cause. I think I put that in the compost pile. That's some weird spots. And the culprit, the worms, getting on the lower leaves to avoid the rain showers. Now I'll move on to the second container. Oops, forgot to get that part. But here's the 3 that I picked. Worm damage. I think that I'm gonna put this in the compost pile. This is a good amount of kale. This one's even more damaged than the rest of them. And you can see the amount of evidence left on the leaves. And the culprit, if I can get him in the camera shot, that's still on the leaves. Like I said, this particular worm, caterpillar, is a lot different than the green ones that I picked off. These are look like gray, black, and yellow. I don't know what type of worm that is or what butterfly or moth it came from. But anybody that knows, leave that comment in the comment section. So this is going to get composted. That's 2 down. So now I go ahead and decide whether I want to get the last one or not. Decided to go ahead and get the rest of the kale. So let me go ahead and get started. This is the last container of kale that I'm going to be harvesting. Also need to try to get this before the battery gets too low on my camera. And you can also see worm evidence and the culprit on one of the plants. Actually, there's 2 on it. One there and one there. Whoops, dropped it. Let's see, and one more. There's some bottom leaves. And that's pretty much it. And that is it for my garden update and harvest. If you like what you see, leave a like. If you have questions, comments, leave it in the comment section. Thanks for watching and happy gardening.